Alright, I don't know if you guys have heard this news or what, but we are dealing with some brain eating chemicals, stuff that dissolves people's brains, fuses the bones together. Some of the most nastiest shit I ever heard in my life. I suggest to everyone they go to the Gobcast. Check this video out that I got right here. Legal chemicals found in 25 dispensary products. We're talking from the flour to the carts to the oils, all of it, man. California, all over the US. Stuff that fuses mice bones together. Multiple different chemicals that cause cancer. Multiple different chemicals that cause Parkinson's disease. If you don't know what that is, that's that one that that Back to the Future Marty McFly got. And that's why he can't make any more movies. It screwed him up. Now, luckily, I heard there's some Parkinson's medicine coming out. Supposedly, I've seen someone get treated with it, and they look totally normal again. But, I mean, you don't want to get this problem here. And, dude, this stuff is absolutely freaking disgusting. I figured we'd just troll through this a little bit. I ain't going to be able to play any of the video, but we can go through the comments. I can kind of discuss what I have seen and the shit. Like, this chart right here is pretty nasty right here. It's probably a little hard to see, but pretty nasty stuff. This isn't even all of the stuff. It's destroying sperm cells, destroying your brain cells, destroying like pregnancies and stuff, developmental disorders, all from these chemicals in the weed. Now I'm gonna take a hit from this right here. Anyone along with me? And that's why I only smoke what I grow. This is why you only smoke what you grow. But I understand out there, some people just aren't able to grow. I would suggest support your local grower. Maybe if you can't legally buy the weed or anything like that, well, you could kick them some money for grow supplies. You could know someone that grows, and like, you know, maybe you don't buy it and stuff, but you could give him a few $100 for some grow supplies, and see if he'll give you some bud when it's done, and do it that way too. You know what I mean? I would suggest that, a barter system. It's legal to give it away. Alright, so as you see, the peak is pretty insane with that top one. And we're talking this: nausea, vomiting, headaches, difficult breathing, wheezing, chest tightness, shortness, memory loss, combustion of that, releases cyanide and other toxic gases. In rats, it's concentrated in breast milk. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's a little hard to read because of the pixelization, but breast milk causing increased death in offspring. So you know how sick that is? Dude. So you could be smoking around your pregnant wife, these carts or weed or whatever. They breathe that smoke in. It goes in their milk. Your child's like getting dosed. You know how sick that is? Not screened in California cannabis. Look at that. So this is no one on. Hopefully I'll share this to Drew sharing. I know it's like he's in UK, and like, dude, just don't smoke Cali weed anymore. The UK and all you guys, like, ban it. Like, don't do it. Who cares? Like, I understand the quality is good and the strains can be crazy good. I don't know. Try getting the strains there or getting cuts, and they should be growing it there because there's no way they should have Cali weed on the menu anymore in Europe. If they believe in banning pesticides and chemicals in all their foods, and like, dude, you can't get candies and cereals. They banned it in Europe because it kills you. It's poisonous. Now, if they're that serious about that, uh, they should be serious about California cannabis. Don't even trust it anymore. I wouldn't even use it, especially they're not screening for that. And then you confront the people that are using it, and these companies, as you'll hear in this video, will argue back at you, oh, I'm following the guidelines, but it's not in the guidelines. You think that they would just be like, cool people and like not really do it. Now, I remember some of this is a miticide. So this is coming from pesticides and like whatever they're feeding it or putting in the soil or whatever. Um, just the overall chemicals of the entire stuff. Dude, this is absolutely insane when you go through it. All right, so we can kind of break down the article from his channel. All right. Aging yuppies and neo beachwear stand before a green wall with the catchphrase, "You have changed, so has cannabis." I don't know, that's kind of stupid the way they wrote it, but so as you see, we'll just, go through kind of like the bullet points here. So it says 25 of 42 cannabis products. That's crazy. That's half of the stuff. So half the stuff is testing positive for concentrates of pesticides either above levels or state allowed levels that exceed federal standard for tobacco. So they won't even allow that in tobacco, but they'll allow it in the weed. That's fucking crazy. Right here. So when you hear this, contaminants include chemicals tied to cancer, liver failure, thyroid disease, dude, genetic and neurologic harm to users and unborn children. Now, that's crazy. Now, anyone knows that had liver problems or died of a liver cancer or something? It might have been this, dude. It might have been the weed. But most of the people in the community actually probably grow their own weed. So that doesn't really make sense to me. But all it takes, though, if you watch this video, is one hit and you dosed yourself, like, really bad. So all you have to do is take one hit, they claim. So maybe, like, that weed went around. Maybe that's all it took was one hit. And you might grow your own weed, but someone brings some weed around, they go out to the dispensary, oh, try this stuff. Maybe you shouldn't try it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or if you do try it, maybe don't inhale. Fake it. If you don't want to disrespect the person, try to fake it. I wouldn't inhale it. You're getting that chemical in your mouth anyway. Dude, don't even do it. I just stay away from all this stuff until they federally legalize it and they put it under, like, FDA or, like, I don't know. The ATF, I don't think that they regulate the chemicals because they would be tobacco. I think it's just a sale of it. So who would do that? FDA maybe? So the FDA would fall under FDA regulations. Like, you're not supposed to do it. I don't know. I would think the most expensive weed in the United States should be weed in Europe. Weed grown in Europe, imported to the U.S., is probably going to be the hottest thing on the market. I'm saying pretty soon, because of the quality of standards that Europe holds with not allowing chemicals in their stuff. And again, I'm just shocked that these people have allowed Cali weed to get into their country. Are they testing it maybe before they get in? Does some stuff get turned back? Or is the government of like UK and everyone else kind of like turn the blind eye on cannabis? You know what I mean? Let them kind of regulate themselves. All I'm saying is, dude, this is bad. It does not bode well. Okay. Let's see if we can pull up another bullet point. Sorry, I'm chewing some gum if I'm making some chopping noises. Well, it's hard to see, but I think he was looking around somewhere around here. Oh, so no one's interviewing. Okay, long-term public health concerns are by growing use of vapes, which contain the greatest contamination levels, are marketed to young adults. So, yes, it's in the vapes. It's concentrated, but it was found in the flower too, as you'll see. So it is also in the flower, but when they condense it from the flower to the vape, it's even more. And that would be in your edibles too. So if you're eating edibles from these and you're trying to cure cancer and you're like, why didn't the edible work? She's like, my family member's dead and had the edibles that didn't work. Well, it probably had more chemicals that cause cancer. Um, you gotta watch out where you're getting stuff from. And people want to blame Chinese growers and different things like this and that. But as you see here, though, this is like the we're talking about the industry from the actual shops and stuff. Like you can only imagine what the street weed is. It's probably we're not even counting what if that's even bad or what. Most people I know that grow weed don't use chemical pesticides. Um, I don't know anyone that freaking grows weed in a giant area. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know if they use it. I don't know. All I know is home growers. I've never heard of anyone using chemical stuff like this. So, when they're testing it, it's all dispensary stuff. Now we got this little chart here. He goes over that. What do we have down here? All right, so he's talking about the complaints. This family no longer represented. 150,000 packages of flower, vapes, pre-rolls for sale to unsuspecting customers. So this guy, Josh Swinder, was trying to inform California and the governor, and they wouldn't even listen to him. They're not doing anything, and like representing 150,000 packages, so 150,000 people just probably got cancer or screwed up or something form of that. Now imagine if a kid gets that shit. They were saying that it was fusing the bones in the mice. That bones were melting and fusing together. Like brains were melting. Some's over here. Okay. 66 pesticides. That's all they do in California, but apparently there are more pesticides. Insecticides. Now, I don't know why they just don't use like the oils and like you can use different natural stuff. They don't even have to use pesticides. There you go, man. People like they try to tell people. I see those people that do the Stizzy reviews and stuff, and they're like, "No, mine's good. It's not the fake Stizzy carts." And it's in the real Stizzy stuff, apparently. But then they get mad and they try to complain that there's nothing wrong with their stuff. It's all in the. They claim it's black market stuff hitting the thing. So I just want to put that disclaimer in there. These companies, I believe, claim that it's not them, or maybe I don't know, say that they don't care because they follow the regulations. I remember Stizzy claimed that it was fake Stizzies that made it in the market, but it got into dispensaries. These things, apparently, that guy up there said it was the official product. So, pretty crazy. Let's see what we can get here. Yeah. Let's see. This is talking about the labs. So, we won't go over the whole thing, but that's about enough of seeing it to, okay, so we'll read this. Arizona State University toxologist Max Leong was a part of the state team that in 2017 advised California cannabis regulators on pesticide risks and pesticide threats are greater for medical marijuana users with epilepsy. So, epilepsy, you probably don't want to do it. Parkinson's and other neurological disorders. So, if you have a neurological disorder and you're taking the chemicals, it's going to be a lot worse. And that makes sense. But Lang said that lack of federal recognition of cannabis widespread use, whether state or sanctioned or not, has left customers vulnerable. There's a lack of data on health impacts experienced by cannabis users, although some states do solicit health complaints from the public. And in a few cases, those have led to product recalls for pesticides. California does not collect such information. There you go again. Not even collecting the information. Rather than uninformed national health standards, Lang said that his team found a patchwork of disparate state regulations different from pesticides, capping at different levels or not capped at all. So they're not even capping it. They don't even know, probably. There needs to be more regulation in this, right? Okay, you've got all this contamination, but what do? Lang said. There's just no research. Well, I think the research has already been done, as you would see in this article. They did test a lot of it on mice, and they know what it does. That's some messed up stuff. So, again, let's not make this video too long. I'm gonna end this one here, but we'll just go out, maybe read some comments over here, see what people are saying. They're looking into legal options. People want to sue. He thinks he lives in PA. Well, PA has them too. I mean, apparently this is all over the country, I'm sure. Some about Backpack Boys made that thread over the phone. See, Backpack Boys is pissed. These companies are pissed over this. Now, are they fake carts? Are they real carts? Are they real bud? Are they the fake? How to get into the dispensaries if it's fake. Maybe that they don't condone it. Maybe one of the growers just didn't want to get fired, and he had no other choice but to spray an entire crop with pesticides or get fired, and they get another grower because he let the whole place get mites all over it and had to spray it or something, right? It could be something as simple as that. That the growers themselves are like sneaking it in so that they don't get in trouble for things that happen. Or even like losing the crop, you know what I mean? There you go. Grow your own weeds, make your own hash, press your own rosin. I say, yeah, that's the way to do it. But problem is, though, some people can't do it or don't have the space to do it or things like that. Like, it was meant for sick people, and if you're sick, you can't really be growing like that. So, and if people that are sick are doing it, well, it's no wonder. Some people say it don't work for them. Yep, people complain about Gavin Newsom. You know, they love it. I bet you they would just try to use this to make it illegal again. But So all those years where we heard, I'd say 20, 30 years ago, how bad cannabis was. Imagine the poisons and chemicals coming out of Mexico and all these other countries that were shipping the weed here. And it was sprayed with all sorts of crap. Boy, that must have had some bad shit in it. If the stuff now is bad, could only imagine how bad that stuff was. Okay, he's inhaled lost some of his 50 years, now has felt as toxic to my lungs as THC carts. It's flour or nothing, yes. So, that's pretty crazy. Nothing has felt as toxic to his lungs as THC carts. What? Wow, that's crazy. You know, some people might spray that shit on them themselves, but the companies are still responsible because they're legally responsible. So that's the problem here. I don't know. This could be a big deal right here, but the only problem is they'll just move to another chemical. As soon as you make that chemical on the list, they'll put another chemical. It's crazy. They should just say, like, no pesticides can be used. Zero. These places should strive to grow weed with no bugs. No need to IPM. It should be something like that, where like they figure out how to create a facility so protected and quarantined out that they don't have to worry about, you know, things like that. But you think that's what they would do, but I bet you at some point what's going to happen is you're just going to have pesticide after pesticide after pesticide, and it's going to get to the point where there's going to be such bad pesticides being used, they might have to re-legalize one of the other pesticides that they made like illegal to use in the beginning because it's less deadly. And if people just won't stop using pesticides, they're going to have something that does it. Now, personally, I say people should be using the different plant oils in like mint oil or oregano oil, garlic oil, all the different things, and making a concoction. That's kind of what the trifecta stuff is. And then there's other people in the community that have recipes where you can do it yourself. I might try that at some point, but I'm not going to go experimenting right now, trying to make my own concoction and stuff. But and even when you mix your own concentrates of that stuff, you still got to watch out for not mixing too much together, because again, it's a concentrated solution. You mix too much of it, you'll burn your plants, of course, but I mean, it's better than using the miticide and stuff. If they use that stuff, it's safer, and there'll be a lot of fumes in probably the indoor grow house, probably. But another thing, which is why that trifecta stuff is very expensive. If you had to spray facilities with it, it would cost you a lot of money. But if you could make it yourself, and you were getting all the oils and mixing it yourself, then yeah, you could probably do it. I don't know why they don't. It may be the chemicals are just easier, take less work. You actually have to do work and research, and All right, let's look at these. Wow, that sucks for Rome. No, okay, fuck it. Oh, okay, this guy's saying something about Michigan. Fuck it, you only live once. Did you get high? Alright then, but I like Michigan stuff because fuck Kelly. Fuck everything, Cali. The whole state is dumpster fire. It was full of trash. This isn't new. I'm not shocked. You shouldn't be either. Cali is a shithole. Oh, a shit show. Sorry about that. It's the only state where crime is legal. Y'all expected them to be 100. Y'all fools. That's from Prodigy right there. You know what? He's right. I'll give him a thumbs up on that comment right there. But you gotta understand, there's Michigan facilities in Michigan, maybe, and they might be doing it. So you still, everything in Michigan is not the same. You'd have to get from a local grower. They're saying dispensary stuff is the poison, and that stuff goes everywhere. So, as far as I know, maybe they're not doing commerce like that. But if you have like these big corporations, they're selling stizzy in Michigan. I guarantee it. That guy just didn't test it yet. See, what he needs to do is start testing other states and see it. But he may have done it in this article. I just didn't get to it. Don't smoke any of these brands, but I believe it could be in all of that stuff. Let's see. Whoa, this guy got a lung infection. This is proof that weed gave me a lung infection. I had to go to the ER. Ooh, I stopped smoking for 6 months. Then bought a bag. Got another lung infection. Had to go back to the ER. I had shortness of breath and couldn't not lay flat. Oh, man. Arteries evaluated. Why couldn't he lay flat? That's what I want to know. Oh, because he had the breathing problem? Wow. So it might not have been a lung infection. It might have been the chemicals, like cutting and bleeding his lungs up, and then his lungs being bleedy from the weed chemicals, then got an infection. Oh, man. Where did he buy, though? And where was this located? Damn. People realize that most of this is used on vegetables and fruits. Yeah, exactly. That's the shit's banned in the UK. They don't even accept our meat. They won't accept our produce. But they'll accept the weed. You know what I mean? They gotta watch out. That's why they should just screw the Cali weed that they all want. I don't know. They can do weed just as good. They just have to I don't know. Maybe it's because the chemicals make it better for them or something. I don't know. They think they're getting higher, but it's the chemicals. It could be that too. Why people say, oh, Cali weed's so good. But maybe it's just the chemicals screwing your brain up. And you think the high is better. Okay, I was vaping while detoxing methadone and got throat and tongue cancer. Ugh. I cured myself, but still it's got to be from that bullshit poison. Oh my god. Dude, that's some nasty shit. Wow. Shit. Just found out they had put mRNA gene therapy in a DA methadone last 15 years. I dosed 15 plus years. Glad I went through. Okay, something crazy like that. What about the weed? Oh, he says get from the earth. Alright. Okay. Okay, so let's see what people reply to this. Because I think it's in the flower. It's way more concentrated in the vapes. But they're getting the vape flower from the flower. Let's see. Wow. I want to smoke someone's test, but their sketch THCA brands DRG has tested says they have 102% THCA in their disty. 102%, huh? Well, maybe they're doing something like they raised the percentage up to 200%. Let's see if anything comes up. Interesting. He said street weed wasn't the same as he remembered back in the day. I could smoke and I would get head high and body high. All this street weed, just a little body high that only lasts for a little, maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Then after that, it's just constant chest pains and headaches. Wow. Chest pains and headaches. Damn, this stuff's really going around everywhere, huh? And that's street weed, too. So you can't trust street weed. That's what I'm saying. You have to know, like, a local grower that does it clean. Wow, dude, that's crazy, right? Honestly, now that I think about it, it is the government's already trying to dumb down everyone, so what's if they just another way to do it? Well, yeah, I don't know. Jesus. Let's see if anyone else has any experiences. Uh-huh. Alright, well. Aside from the troll comments, of course. Dude, that's some crazy stuff. Man. That's why people are doing blinkers too. They're not just hitting like one hit, they're doing like blinkers with this. They're testing for a little puff. Let's see. I don't smoke vape. My chest was clogged. I'm gonna have to warn people I know. Okay, he's been smoking over 20 years, and now people on the street trying to sell this Delta 8 crap. What's disturbing is that it looks just like good bud at first sight, but when you smoke it, it's instant anxiety attack, and I feel literally sick from this crap. See? Man, that's so crazy. And that's another reason why I only smoke my own stuff. Uh, my stuff takes away anxiety, some of it. Like the ones I keep around. Like, I'm smoking some stuff now, and I'm just pulling the seed out of some of it from the previous year. So, as to let it not go to waste, I've been puffing on it, and I'm like, wow, yeah, this stuff is an instant boom. It takes it right away. Problem is, though, anxiety is kind of good in a way, because it lets you know that things are important to do. You gotta do some shit. So this stuff can be almost too good in a way, where it just totally takes it away, and then you're like, I know that's really important. I know I really have to do it, but I don't feel stressed about doing it. But, it's important you do the stuff you gotta do, you know what I mean? So, but you have high anxiety. I like some of the strains I got. I got these seeds right here. This would be the, I don't know, F2. Put that away. Now, I showed that mutant plant last time, and I haven't found any more mutants. I looked the whole garden down, and I couldn't find any. So, I see a lot of branching everywhere and that stuff, and that's always good. But nothing like that flat thing. It also ended up being a male, so, I don't think I'm going to keep it around. I guess I'll try tissue culturing it. I'm a little disappointed it turned out to be a male, but I'm let it kick around. Let it show it's really a male. But under a scope, I've seen the flower of a male, so I don't want that pollen floating around. That's some crazy mutant stuff right there. Apparently, they don't like it because it lowers the yield, and it's harder to get it to not want to rot because it gets to this big, weird clump bud thing at the top that kind of looks cool, but people usually have problems with it. So, didn't see any more of that trait anywhere else, though. So, but I definitely don't think I want to, use any of that pollen. It would have been cool to get a female, though, and seen actually what the flower would have looked like, but, you know, whatever. Uh, that was actually the plant that was in the little potted thing I had that was buried in the snow. And it always was a weird looking plant, you know what I mean? It always was weird. So, and it might have been because it was just like starved out and it just was a small plant and it dried completely out in that little container. And then after a certain time, I just said, what the heck? Instead of killing it, I just dug it out, put it in a little pot, and then it survived that. And then under that light, it did that. So, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe the whole stressing of that made it happen, or maybe it was just screwed up to begin with because it did always look weird. I'll make an update video on that at some point. California can't get this right. Okay, this guy remembers back in the 70s, people were smoking weed, got sick, and even died because weed from Mexico had been sprayed with herbicide paraquat. That's what I was talking about. Paraquat. And that was fucked up. I remember hearing about that. So the government was offering a way to get your weed tested for paraquat anonymously, and then the government would let you know if your weed was sprayed or clean. That would be a cool thing to do. I wonder if people would fall for the scam. It's not anonymous. They can contact you, the results. So but now that would kind of be good. If they did that now, that would be actually really, really good. That's a good idea. You could send a sample in to like somewhere and they test it for free. It doesn't even have to be the government that does it. Someone could open up a service and then that could be funded by some like NGOs or some sort of like state budget thing. Marijuana legislation could start something where they get a state budget, they allocate some of the funds to a testing facility in each state that you can send your flower to, and they'll tell you everything in it that you want to know. That'd be pretty cool. Free too. And they could have the marijuana sales, or however they get it, from an NGO to fund whatever thing, or state budget thing, whatever. An NGO is non-government organization, or whatever, so. You won't be pulling from the taxpayer. There's money out there. Oh, yeah. Let's see. So just who is it doing the spraying? The government, the growers seem to be growing their product in a very controlled indoor, hydroponic or aeroponic, almost laboratory conditions. Outdoor growers might be more suspect, but they could as easily be targeted by the government and others in other states, spraying chemicals on exposed plants. That's true. They spray stuff for the mosquitoes. Every year, some areas spray it, so that stuff does get on you. It could get in the ground, too. Cannabis growers are the most heavily taxed products in the country. They might have the most loss by this, okay? Or maybe they don't even have as much loss anymore because they don't make any profit due to the state tax and regulations. I do hear it's really hard to make any money on the cannabis anymore. All these big facilities. I would say that's why I think what it would be small tent growers in your house, people that grow, like, you know what I mean, a few plants. And I would think their weed would be worth the most because it would be fresher and it would be right off the plant. and no chemicals and like organic or whatever. And but right now that weed's the cheapest weed because it's usually given away because these people have all the weed. But in the future, that might be the most expensive stuff. Would be how small your run is and like what you do to it. But they don't allow those people to get in the marketplace to be able to say, hey, so that's the thing is, I would open up regulation to allow people to just, if your stuff's clean and you can pass the test, you can send your stuff into the dispensary and they can sell it for you. That's how it should be. And then you'd have more of the local growers, and maybe someone has like I don't know, maybe have like a few extra ounces every month that you can try to give to the dispensary to sell and make a few extra bucks and make some money. But if enough people did that, you'd have so much weed going there that would be the fresh and like the homegrown stuff that would have no chemicals in it, because you wouldn't need a chemical for a tiny tent. You could treat a tent with some like oils and stuff, and because it's so small, you could spend the money for that. Whereas an entire field, they get the heavy chemicals. That's the problem. They grow too much weed, and it costs too much to feed it. It costs too much to spray it and treat it, and they end up using heavy chemical feeds and heavy chemical spraying. And that's in order to make the cost work. Otherwise, it would cost too much to do. All right. In addition to these pesticides, seems to me to be a wrench in the works, purposely placed there to destroy the industry. Who controls the labs? Which labs are passing contaminated product, and which labs report this contamination? And which products are selling the contaminated product knowing about the contamination? Do stores and dispensaries know? Do they still sell products to the public? Was the entire thing a government plan to end illegal cannabis business? Because if products, dispensaries, state regulators, or anyone else involved in the circle of the cannabis form, state to consumer, cannot keep the public safe from these poisons, then what's left but to pull the plug? Well, no, you could probably regulate the product better. I mean, they just need to regulate it. They knew these chemicals, so ban those chemicals. Here's another thing they gotta do. You gotta limit the number of plants that a dispensary can grow. That's the problem they gotta do. But or limit the number of plants a facility can grow to like a smaller amount, so that they have to control it easier. Because the facilities are too big and they have to spray with crazy stuff. So if it was a smaller, maybe they could manage it better. And then they'd have to sell it for more money. But they would have to make it really nice and organic, though, too. I think that would be a better thing. Price of weed goes up, but it's more organic and might be harder to get at the stores and stuff. They're mass producing it so much that chemicals are being used. Or they should just, I was saying this before, maybe make it you can only grow weed and smoke it that way, and find someone that grows it. Problem is, it comes from the streets too. People on the streets are using chemicals even worse than the facilities. Yeah. He had a point about the labs and stuff. Someone might be able to pay off a lab and say, hey, can we get a good test? Okay, yep, I know you. And they give them a pass, right? When they don't even test it. Or someone gets someone else's product and says, I want to test their product, but they have dosed their product with some chemicals, and then it tests, oh, this product tests bad, and it was their competition. and then now they make them look bad. That's what some of them are claiming. That probably happens too. I wouldn't put it past anyone. That's crazy. Well, I'm going to end this one here. We have heard and read some horrible stories from this comment section. And that sucks. It's literally killing people as we speak right now. So they're talking about legalizing it and stuff. They gotta get this under control, man. The problem with the cannabis is it likes to absorb anything. It's a weed. It's a type of weed that absorbs chemicals and anything in the ground. So that's also anything you spray on it, or anything you feed it, or like just contaminants in the air. Like people were saying, is it outdoor and the government spraying the shit? Because that's how they used to do that shit. Now, they want to claim that Mexican stuff was paraquat and stuff, but in actuality, there were government programs out that back then where the government would find Mexican cannabis fields and they would spray, I forget what chemical it was, on the plants to kill the plants. But in some cases, like, it didn't kill them all the way and they grew, and they were trying to still send that stuff to the US. So, like, there was a lot of bad chemicals back in the day.